Hey yo, what's good? I'm gonna be telling y'all the time I got caught stealing. Hey listen, I'm a changed man, I promise. This story starts around quarantine. Back when I was a heavy gamer, the PS5 had just became available for pre-order and I desperately wanted one. So on the night of the drop, I waited on my laptop and visited the Sony site 1 minute prior with my credit card ready to cop. As soon as I was able to add the PS5 to my cart, I punched the trackpad damn near breaking it. I went to the checkout and just like most people, it said out of stock. I got dumb tight and damn near broke my laptop. Again, in the middle of me emailing Sony a very respectful email, I thought a better idea would be to go to the headquarters in person so that nothing could be misinterpreted and they can understand my concerns fully. To better the products, of course. I put on my fly kicks, snuck out the crib, and walked to Sony's headquarters. When I got to Sony's headquarters and saw that it was closed, I got even more mad, and as I was about to bang on the door, I stopped and thought of a brilliant idea. I decided that I was gonna steal a PS5 instead of waiting for another drop. I thought instead of investing $500, now I can get it for free without waiting. Instead of going back home, I chose to hide in a nearby bush and cop an online course for $500 about stealing, and he told me everything I needed to know. Roughly around 2 hours later, I was ready to use what I learned. First, I went down to the nearest Walmart and caught me a janitor outfit along with some other tools suggested in the course. Then I went to the back of the building, put on the fit, walked back into Walmart, took the janitor cart and walked out. Next, I walked to the front door of Sony headquarters with a cart and knocked on their door. A security guard came up to me and I told him exactly what the course said. I'm here to clean out dirty toilets and shit. Let me in? Or y'all doing it yourselves? He instantly let me in, with no questions asked. As I walked around, I was mainly focused on recording the area for security guards' routines and security camera locations. But I was struggling to find where the PS5 stock were, so I decided to just go to the bathroom before they start getting suspicious. When I went to the bathroom, I instantly smelled shit and heard someone moaning from one of the stalls. At that moment, I got extremely disgusted and was about to dip, until I saw a vent. I brought the cart in and placed it below the vent to use as a stepping stool. Then I started unscrewing the screws with a screwdriver, but when I had finished, I accidentally dropped the vent case. Although it made a huge clank noise, the men in the bathroom were just going ham. I climbed through the vent system and eventually saw a room with a whole bunch of PS5s along with games. I was about to start celebrating until I remembered a quote from a GOAT. Job not finished. Job finished? I don't think so. I teed up and got right back into monk mode. When I looked, I saw that there was mad sensors all over the place, so I knew I had to find a way to turn them off. I knew that if I was to try and use the janitor method, I would end up getting caught, so I had to be stealthy. With my training with Sensei Ashikawa up north, I was more than prepared to do what I had to do. I was studying and memorizing the security guards' patrol routes I had recorded on my phone. Then once I got out, I noticed that I didn't hear any noises coming from the bathroom. I got a little concerned that he saw the vent open, but I was still in monk mode, so those thoughts soon became non-existent. I got out to the bathroom and snuck around the building. I was hiding behind tables, waiting for security cameras to turn to the other side, and even used the whistle method. I eventually got to this room that had a whole bunch of controls and monitors showing live footage from the security cameras. However, a security guard was standing there watching the footage. I got in the room, hid behind cover, and used the distraction method I learned from the course. The man in the course told me to say exactly this. Commander Alex, I'm sorry to say, but I heard that John is messing with your wife. I had to tell you on duty because he is in your house right now, at this moment, piping your wife. A security guard immediately got up and ran out the door. I went to the controls and saw a big red button. And of course, it said if I was to see a big red button, don't push it, but twist it instead. I twisted the button, looked up at the monitor that was surveilling the PS5 room, and saw that the sensors turned off. In controlled excitement, I snuck back to the bathroom, crawled through the vent system, unscrewed the screws with a screwdriver once again, and I got into the room. When I looked up and saw mad PS5s, I couldn't help but to get excited and break out of monk mode. But this is where everything started going downhill. I took too long taking the games off the shelves and putting them into my pants that when I went to go get a PS5, a security guard entered the room and pointed a gun at me, telling me to freeze. My heart sank. But then I smelled shit and realized he was the man in the bathroom. As he was getting closer, I remembered another tip from the course telling me what I should say if I was to get caught. I took off my janitor outfit and said exactly this. Rashawn Williams, please don't do this. I know it's a weird time to say this, but I'm your long lost brother. Yeah, I was not expecting that to work until he stopped. He took off his mask and started crying. I was astonished, but I soon realized my mistake of turning off monk mode and turned it back on. I told him I'll explain everything later, but he needs to help me escape. He agreed and told the rest of the security guards that the intruder was in the bathroom. As soon as the other security guard started running over there, I took a PS5 and we both dipped. When we got closer and closer to the exit, a random security guard came up to Rashawn and I immediately hid behind cover. The other security guard suspected Rashawn of hiding the intruder and Rashawn was losing it under pressure. So I got up, kicked the security guard, and both me and Rashawn jumped him and knocked him out. Then we eventually got to the exit and he told me he couldn't come with me because they would get suspicious if he was to leave. So then I told him that we will meet in a certain park and talk about everything. He agreed and we went our separate ways. But as I was leaving, an angry janitor came out of nowhere and started yelling at me. I got worried that he was gonna alert the security guards, so I threw the PS5 at his noggin and it ended up knocking him out. I went to retrieve the PS5 and booked it back home. It was around 6 a.m. when I got home. I decided to throw the PS5 through my window and then walk in to tell my mom I went for an early morning walk. I walked in and saw that she wasn't there, so I didn't have to worry about anything. Although I was exhausted, I decided to at least set up the PS5 and put it in a game so that it could be downloaded by the time I woke up. With the various amount of games that were in the vault, I saw God of War, Spider-Man, and others, and I did take the more popular games, but there was this one game that stood out to me. It was named This Will Explode Your PS5. I personally thought it was fire since the creators called it that, so I decided that was going to be the first game I play. Remember what I told you about turning off monk mode? I got the PS4 all set up and ready. Next I put in the CD, and as soon as I pressed X on the game, my PS5 exploded, and I was just so furious that I ended up passing out. At the end of the day, we all want to be rich and millionaires, but many of us don't want to put in the work. I hope in this story I have simplified and shown y'all the difference between wishing for something and actually doing something. If you haven't, no worries. I will explain it in a sentence or two that everybody will understand. The moral of the story is, if you ever get into a situation where you accidentally drop the soap, remember to hit up a man named Johnny. He will always be on the spot. Call him.